Number one is just approving the minutes from the last meeting, last Monday. Number two is the audit claims that went through. Mr. Major, number three.
Building permits, 13 in the town, 3 in the village.
Number four is going to be, actually, every year we give the Hall House funding. It's in our, I think it went for $3,000 this year. That's the funding for the Hall House, one of our locations, historical locations here that's cut up very well.
Quick question on that. I think the letter asked for $2,500. Is that?
It was $3,000 that was given in our appropriations. I think the letter changed. Did they change the letter? Oh, Cindy, yeah, letter didn't change, okay.
Okay.
It was I think they went off one from a couple of years ago.
Oops, sorry.
Good catch though. Councilmember Dickman, number 5.
That is for the reduced speed limit on Oak Park Boulevard by Clearview Heights, 25 miles.
Number 6.
That is for the stop signs at Hidden Meadows.
Okay. Number 7, we got a donation for the Senior Center's Valentine's Day dinner, Senior Center. Number 8, Councilmember Dickman.
That is for waiver for sidewalks on Westwood Road.
Okay. Number 9 is going to be our payroll processing company. And number 10, last week we did the SAS agreement. This is the other agreement for NICEAG now. This will complete all the agreements that we need to do to go forward with our street lighting project. Number 11 is authorize myself to execute a host community benefit agreement with NextEra.
Could you give us some background on that? I'm not that familiar.
Yeah, it's the right of way. I think Ed probably would know more about this than I do.
Sure. A couple years ago, I think it was request for proposals to run additional high tension lines from the plant into the grid. After a series of proposals, they selected a firm called NextEra. So they're running lines from basically Lockport all the way to Elma. They're running inside the existing NICEAG right away, where they are putting up new goals on a new line. As part of the payment, it's a year's process with the PSC for permitting, that's what it is. They've been in buffers a couple times, they have to cross some town roads, and there's easements and stuff that they've been getting out of the way.
I think we met with them a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, and they're going to take the least invasive road
Yes,
through.
yeah, listen, they're using the existing right of way.
Yeah. I think there's 6 total municipalities that they're going through.
Yes, yeah, all the way north to south. It's on the east side of town, kind of where it is. But part of that deal is because they're going through towns, they're offering each town a host benefit package of various, I don't know what's in it, but so each town is getting something for having this line go through their town. That's where they are. They're probably still 6 months from getting a permit from the PSC, but that's the process.
You don't have to have public hearings or anything on this?
They've had, they've had, there's some information on the website that we've had posted. But because it's at the state level, there's no secret, the town level is all handled at the federal and state level.
Gotcha.
As a utility.
And one last question on that one. What are we getting, like $4,000?
$4,000 for 5 installments.
Okay. What's the rest of it, especially for risk youth, community health, wellness programs? Are they running some lines into the town itself?
No, I think that's where the money is supposed to be appropriated to. Something-
Oh, okay.
One of those
All right,
categories.
Okay.
Education and
Yeah.
things of that nature. Okay, number 12 is the award bid for the purchasing of the trees. Number 13 is appointing a ZBA member. Number 14 is appointing the deputy town attorney. We're finally going to get Kevin some help over there. He's drowning.
That's 15.
Oh, 15. No, 14 I am.
Mine's a 14 and a 15.
Okay, all right. Mine just says 15.
Mine's 14. I'm going off the
Because of
budget.
the change we
Yep,
made?
yep,
Okay.
okay.
What is it, 14?
It's number 14.
You're missing one.
And she, the amounts that she's getting is still the same though, right? You're just talking about, okay, gotcha.
Let Diane catch up.
It's the appointing towers, so I got chairman of the ZBA. And I'll get the, 'cause we had switched it and then she.
Right.
Yep, that's 14. It was 15, that was 14. Okay, the chargers for these things?
Did he get you off the charger?
Mine's
They're all over
Oh,
there.
they're
I bring up a charger.
Lorenzo.
I charge them all, so you don't come around, but you, I don't know if it's fully charged now.
Yeah, it's still full.
Okay, yeah, I charge them once a month, earlier today.
Oh, okay.
And I think, it looks like, it actually how long it lasts, but, gosh, it looks like.
Oh, okay, so this should
Yeah,
be.
6 hours on there or something.
So mine's still full.
Yeah, you're not even.
Orlando's 14.
I have a charger for $4. I have several.
Oh, it says 100%. It says you got 16 hours.
And stuff like that.
Oh, could be.
So look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jensen.
Oh, you guys got it
Is
for
it the
this.
time?
Mine's probably
Oh,
not.
I'm sorry. It's a timer.
Oh.
I think you are, we're not.
Is it running out of time?
I'm looking at the charge, battery, the charge, I see 6 hours.
You're on fire.
No, I don't, it's just out of
Yeah, it
order.
says you got 16 hours out of this battery. That's pretty good. There's 17 hours and 3 minutes left. Wow.
Yours charged in only an hour.
And you try to turn this down to get longer.
Sorry? Oh,
Just for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Are we gonna be able to get the GIS system on this, you think?
Really, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can get to the counties, the towns.
It's gonna be, basically gonna be carrying around a laptop with you, condensed laptop. It's gonna be able to access everything you want. Which is actually great if we have a, even like we're talking about a project or something coming in, you can actually zone in the GIS and where it is right during the meeting.
Yeah.
If a question comes up, boom, you can pop in.
Which committee do you need? So it's not an issue for the creative. Yep. Whole street, I just gotta see it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're very inexpensive actually, you know, but I think they're under $300. No, and it's just, makes you so much more efficient.
Seems nice in my lifetime to be alone now. It's years
Well,
ago.
yeah, we get, I think we got the state bid price or something like this too. It comes up to that, so we get break.
I like the touch screen thing too.
I didn't realize that until I touched it.
Well, you can zoom it or.
Oh, yeah.
Those
No,
anyway.
He's just zooming out.
we can put a mouse on it.
Sign it.
Probably.
Yeah, you can put a mouse or you gonna.
Wow, I
no.
can't even read that.
See it? I haven't taken it to the extreme now. Picking on the people that are a little older than him. Right?
Yeah.
Quicker than you think.
Don't rush.
Well, I mean, we started talking about it, and she creates 10 packages, and when she looked at them, she goes, wow, these all can go away. Actually, she wasn't gonna give hers up, and then after she talked to Joel, she goes, you know what, order one for me too. So, you know, everybody's on board with it. And, you know, and the other people that I talked to that were getting packages, like the chief over here, he goes, Ron, the stuff I need, I could pull out, it's online, I could pull out the couple things I need, and that's it. Basically, most people are taking the packages and tossing them, except for the few items that they needed in there. So, you know, we've gone live online with our stuff, and that allows people, if they do have to have a printout of something, they're only printing out a page or two, versus the packages are quite thick, and some are getting, you know, extremely thick. So, and I'm all in the saving trees and being green, so.
Especially with the previous meeting minutes and all that stuff, you just go around the website and they're already there.
And it's changed. I mean, we're gonna have to all get used to this, it will change, but I think, you know, if you talk to us 3 months later, you have to remember the paper. I shouldn't say that, I have to wait for the other phase. Because then you'll be able to document this up a little bit too.
So are we waiting for Diane to correct something for us, or?
I mean, we could probably go on, because it's just the resolutions. So, okay. Yeah, I don't know if you want a correction or something.
just the last one on there?
Which one? That one?
It was back.
Whatever, it's like 18.
Because then Ron wanted me to change it.
Okay.
So,
So number 15 is appointing the public safety dispatcher. Number 16 is a change in town line fire department. Number 17, and this is for Parks Department, because Rose was under a rec attendant, and now they're going to move to a clerk typist,
Yeah.
which more of the duties are.
Okay.
So we're going to create a PO 17 for that.
oh yeah, you have it.
Oh,
It's just Kevin.
And Councilmember Leary, number 18.
Yes, sir. Number 18 is appointing Tyler Syke as the chairman of the zoning board of appeals. The zoning board had their own vote, and they voted in the acting chairman, and we just want to make it perfect.
That's our agenda. Ed, you have anything for us?
No, still plugging away on water issues. Water line job on Genesee and Town Line. We have a pre-construction meeting Thursday with contractor. Starting in 4 weeks. I don't know which one starting on first, they're close. And then we're still continuing on with pavement. Getting close to wrapping up on this corner space, we're also paving now. We're out to Genesee.
Chief, anything for you? Yeah?
I do. Thank you for the time. It almost appears that we're going to be a month before we meet again. But, I wanted to get out there that we were able to submit the 1203 report to the Department of State. They acknowledged they received the report for all the numbers for 2019. It's basically the statistics from the calendar year through the building department. In the next 3 weeks, I do plan on preparing resolutions to appoint the 2 zoning clerks, as well as an additional code enforcement officer. I submitted a request this morning to create a PO 17 for an additional building and zoning clerk for the department. And I also questioned the 17 open positions that are there. I've just been advised to leave those alone, but we do need to have that one for the.
Yeah, I think this Erie County system, the Formata system, we're 6 months behind because the system broke down. So they're manually inputting stuff, and we don't really know. Like, for example, we had a position request at the senior center for a part-time person. They only have part-time people there. And there were 6 requisitions out there, and it showed 5 filled. But I recall us, during one of the later board meetings, approving another one, and that's true. When they made the call, they're expended. So we have to add another one next meeting for the 7th person. It's 1 night a week for a class. It doesn't cost the town any money for this because they get reimbursed. It's a paid class. I think they pay the person, I think they get $30 an hour or something for a couple hours a week. But they do collect fees to offset that.
I'm also beginning to open some dialogue with the Village of Lancaster. I've conferred a little bit with Kevin with regards to the intermunicipal agreement to allow the local zoning code enforcement officer and their fire marshal to input data within our IPS software. And it's simply them purchasing the tablet. I don't think we need licensing yet until they create a desktop at their position, but it's just adding them as a user onto our software. It helps us to generate and retain records more efficiently electronically. So we're beginning that dialogue. Tomorrow I'm also attending the Erie County Zombie Property Task Force. It's a quarterly meeting that they have. I've missed the last couple of them. This week also the Fire Marshals Association is having one of their meetings. They're going to discuss some options for indoor fireworks displays and things of that nature, because it's something fairly new to the industry. And we've also been speaking with the attorneys that represent Ryan Holmes. They did reach out again with me today regarding the missing sidewalks that we have on Pleasant View Drive. So I'm thinking next week we're going to have a discussion about what they plan on doing and where they're at in the process. And then finally, this may be for the buildings and recreation department, but we may have to start a discussion on the parking facilities that are on the south side of the building. There's been some complaints from residents using those spaces overnight. It prevents the recreation department from maintaining those spaces, plowing snow and what have you. and there's a drain right next to that mailbox that's outside that gets blocked periodically,
Mhm.
and it's pretty important to drain out that entire parking lot.
So do we need
perhaps we can have
signage
some-
possibly there? Is that what you're talking about?
Perhaps, so it's
Okay.
better that we get this discussion out there, make sure we've got everything, you know, the i's dotted, t's crossed, so that we can address that.
Okay,
And thank you.
you're welcome. Speaking of building and recs, anything from Michelle?
Well, we're in the process right now of getting our summer programs all set and put together. We're meeting this week regarding the concert series. We're going to pick Wednesday nights this time, second week of June, July, and August. We're going to try to do it on the same second Wednesday of the month. We think that will improve a lot, and we're thinking about starting off it with a bigger band, so everybody gets aware of it. So we're in the process of that. We're also in the process of bidding out a lot of, and getting quotes, I shouldn't say bidding out, a lot of things to get the diamonds ready for the summer, which will be coming.
Kevin, anything you? Just real quick,
Zone?
you want to drop them out?
Yeah.
Why don't you do yourself on the highway then?
All right, but Danny can't make it today, there's something going on personal, so Mr. Amateur told me, asked me to just talk. He's going to meet tomorrow with the Clarence Highway Superintendent
Erie
and
County.
Erie County and the Erie County Highway Superintendent Association, and they're gonna talk about fees for blacktop.
Yeah, this goes back to last year in Danny's office, and we were sitting down, and I pulled 2 invoices up about blacktop. And what, he showed me 2 things, and what we were paying, and what others for the county were paying.
Private sector too.
Yeah, the private sector was paying less than what we were paying. So I questioned, I said, why do we do it? There's something wrong here. How could the private sector be paying less than we are? And he made a phone call right away. He goes, you should get that with the county, get everybody involved. If we're all buying from one supplier, I think your costs go down. And that's what started the conversation.
Yeah, exactly, because what happens is these big companies, they buy such high volume.
Exactly, that's
the
so
private
listen,
sector.
this was a conversation, he and I think it was somewhere July or August time frame, I was in his office. And it came up, and he showed me the 2 sheets. I kind of raised my eyebrows that, how can a private industry be, and again, they do a lot of work, but if you got all the towns together, I'm sure we do much more work when it comes to paying and notes and that. So that's how that came about, and hopefully he comes back, with some good news and getting a better price for blacktop for us. So, I did meet with the grant writer this morning, and I'm going to bring him into the next direct reports meeting. It's good to get the grant writing is a partnership, because they know all the ins and outs for the government agencies and where to go, how to go, what to go for. But we know that we're in the trenches with stuff. So if you need something for, code or sewers, or we need something for sewers, something like that, we have the actual details of what we need to go for. So it becomes a partnership. So he's going to come and explain, how things are. But I gave a list of things, actually, a list that we created for Monica, and I shared it with him. So I got him cracking already on things for grants. So somebody, you guys may get a call from him. Michelle, you have some things in there that you do. Chief, there was one thing that might qualify that your request was. I know the Heritage Trail was something that was, you might get some questions on for sure.
I definitely will call them. I'm also waiting to hear on the tree grant that we already started. So I'll give them.
And obviously we got the dog facility going. Hopefully we get that. That'd be great. So with that, we got a couple minutes. Head into the session. We ready this time, I guess?